Hi friends, it's Anna here. If you don't know me, I'm a freshman at Emory University. I'm currently on winter break. I am ordered by my mom to delete at least 500 photos a day to clear up my iPhone storage. So I'm just scrolling through my camera reels trying to delete shit ton of photos, but I always end up working through them quite slowly because 10 photos in, I'm already giggling at some stupid shit. Anyways, I found some photos of our orchestra trip that happened about 9 months ago, spring of 2024. I always wanted to make a video, so here's my chance to be reminiscent. I just want to say a quick thank you to whoever's on this trip with me that made this memory so special to me. Even though I'm in college right now, I still think about it once in a while. This video is divided in 4 chapters. First is random photos, just things that I found funny, hence I took a photo of. A lot of the times it has nothing to do with playing music or learning about these 2 countries, but it's sort of just like my own commentary on things around me. And second is art. I was taking art history senior year of high school. It is one of the most inspiring classes I've ever taken, and Germany was a place where I saw some of these art in person, which is just really amazing. And third is music, because it's after all an orchestra trip. And fourth is Sam Shea, my stand partner some of the times. Just a great friend, a great guy. Sorry Sam, I make fun of you a lot. Our first category is random stuff. Starting off, we have a photo of Megan trying to stuff my music stand in her suitcase because mine was full, and as you can see, she is struggling. And this video is taken on our flight to Frankfurt where we had a layover. I thought the lights were interesting. It was like shape-shifting almost. And on my right, I was sitting with Sam, my dear stand partner. And on his right, there was this dude just sat there the whole time, upright, without slouching. It was amazing. I took this photo of our violin teacher, Mr. Corral, who is an amazing violinist and really good at one-wheeling. This is at Frankfurt. We had a layover. I thought the sauce looked very interesting. I do have permission from Scott to put this photo in my video, and as you can see, Megan is also asleep in the background. When we landed in Frankfurt, I took this photo of Mr. Moon and Brandon because I thought their hair was equally messy. For some reason, my water bottle was not really airtight, so when the pressure changes, the water oozed out of it, and I woke up mid-flight with my left foot wet, so this is me trying to dry my sock. When we got to the hotel, I was really tired, so I fell asleep to Sam's violin playing. And this is me continuing to be really tired in the hallway. Me tired at the dinner table. Some selfies in the mirror. I asked Megan to stand in the photo because I thought the tree was interesting. It almost like burned matches at the end, like the tip of the tree branches. We had some time to roam around the town center. Harrison, Patrick, and Sam decided to get chocolate croissant and mango juice from Starbucks. Megan and I made fun of them for being very American tourists. Megan and I got Bismarck herring sandwiches, which was really good. At night, I was bored, so I started playing Scribblio. Look at this amazing drawing, but nobody could guess it. The word was roast chicken. My turn drawing, and I drew a stomach. It's a really bad drawing, but I mean, it did the job. And somebody was like, don't know how to draw. And I was like, bro, other options were aristocrat and contrabass. Rizzler was like, it's alright, Anna, you did great. I was like, thanks, Rizzler. And Maddie said, Anna Poo-Poo Shocktival. What even is that? I don't know. Somebody said, you have hidden talent. Keep it hidden. That's so mean. I took this photo of this dynamic trio, some other friends. We went to a Baroque church. I got this photo of our conductor, Mr. Moon. He wasn't looking at me, but I thought he looked kind of funny. Scott here was trying to interview people. For some reason, I brought my fisheye lens with me, so I got these really funny fisheye photos. This one of Mr. Moon is immaculate. I took this photo of Harrison in Hamburg. I didn't think it was like that great of a photo, except that the lighting on his hair looked beautiful. Harrison really liked it. He said thank you to me, which was a little bit unexpected. It is his profile photo right now. I don't know if he changed it. And this is again in Hamburg. I thought the lighting was pretty, and it's cooler when you turn this photo into black and white. I was asleep a lot of times. This is a photo Megan took of me, and there's Natalie also. There's Patrick just, really zen and awake in the background. Somehow this photo made it to my art history class, and yeah, that's great. Sam and I here are trying to dab each other up in this amazing concert hall in Hamburg called El Philharmonie that has really, really good acoustics.
You gotta get it nice.
So in this photo, we were in Prague in our hotel trying to explore this sky lounge. As the elevator door opens, there's this guy a little bit naked in his bathrobe. We didn't expect that, so we just stood there in silence, looked into his eyes, waiting for the elevator door to close again. Then he started laughing, and we did too. It was kind of stupid, but I was like, let me take a photo. And then they were like, Anna, what are you doing? I saw this poster on this traffic light. No place for homophobia, fascism, racism, sexism, Islamism. I feel like it is again sort of reinforcing Islamophobia and stereotyping Islamism as something that's violent and extremist. Yeah, I'm not sure about this poster. I decided to be in the photo because I thought it was weird to just take photo of somebody's butt. Ignore Euban on the right side, but if you zoom in on this guy, why is his pants falling off? I just thought it was funny. Now we have arrived at the second chapter, Art. Warning, nerdy content ahead. If not interested in art history, skip to 1309. The first photo I have here is a neo-Gothic church, St. Nikolai Memorial at Hamburg. The cool thing about this, as you can see, I took a photo of this archivolt, which is a term that describes like arches and decorative things on this arches of this portal, which is another fancy term for a door that leads worshippers from the exterior world into this holy space. And the reason I could sort of tell that it was neo-Gothic but not Gothic was because of these Greek Corinthian columns, which is definitely not a Gothic thing during the 12th century. It was more of a more modern sort of decorative thing that people did during the neo-Gothic style. Another cool genre that I learned in art history and I saw in person was still life. And from what I know, the Dutch still life is significant in many ways. One is in its religious context. It represented Protestant beliefs. I know, really big words, I'm also sort of generalizing it, but there was the Reformation and of course the Counter-Reformation mid-1500s up till mid-1600s. Therefore, art is quite different depending on where you're standing with your religious beliefs. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but speaking of the still life, Dutch or Flemish artists started using symbols of fish, olives, burnt candles, skulls to represent the transience and immortality of the material world. And these contemplations of life and death are the quote-unquote reforms or changes that Counter-Reformation people did not want to see. So what we have here is by Rachel Ruysch. She's really famous for painting flowers, and you see little animals and insects on her flowers. It's really cool. Besides the religious context, you can also just read into the Dutch economy at the time. For example, in this painting by Haida, and I quote, "Smart history, we can look at the accumulation of objects and place it within the context in which it was made in a hyper-capitalist and consumer society, which the 17th century Dutch Republic was. There is also the context of the artist showing off how he could render all these different surfaces and textures. Upon first glance, and I learned later on this painting is called The Philosopher, it has this stylistic quality and this like lavish, exuberant use of colors, this really careless, wild brushstroke, and I was like, that feels like something from the Rococo era. And as it turned out, it was actually by the famous French Rococo painter Fragonard, who is famous for his other work called The Swing. You would probably know. Here, Megan, Natalie, and I took a selfie with this tiger. Even though it's just a tiger, but it's by the 19th century famous artist Delacroix, the same guy who painted the really famous Liberty Leading the People, the image people typically associate with the French Revolution, and the painting that Coldplay used for their song Viva la Vida. So why did this tiger jump out to me? I remember in art history class, we talked about Orientalism being a common theme of his paintings, which means that he usually depicted people from quote-unquote the East or the Orient being exotic, colorful, and sensual. Of course, we're only able to scrutinize the use of these stereotypes in the modern 21st century globalized world. But back then, in this case, for example, a tiger is from the East, and you don't see that in Paris. So he probably was really intrigued when he saw tigers in a zoo or on his trip to Morocco. Here is a photo of me, I don't know why, kneeling in front of this painting by Peter Paul Rubens, a really famous, really important Baroque painter. I'm not going to elaborate more, but I was just really excited. I got to see one of my favorite paintings in person, and it's called Abbey in the Oakwood by Caspar David Friedrich, a really famous German romantic painter. You may know him by his other work called Wander Above Sea of Fog. I don't know about you, but if you have ever had Frankenstein in your high school English curriculum, your English teacher might have introduced you to the book with this painting, since Romanticism is the context that both the painting and the book were situated in. But yeah, the reason I love this painting is because of its deep, weighted emotional quality, very representational of German Romanticism, which also got me thinking about a lot of other German composers like Brahms, Beethoven, and Mendelssohn. Of course, we got to see the one and only bust of Nefertiti just rendered in perfect naturalism. I think because they don't want tourists to be obsessed with taking photos of her, we're not allowed to take photos up close within this circle, but the security people are like, you can stand here, you can get your friend out of the circle and zoom in on you, take a photo from the outside. So that's how I got this photo. We also saw the house altar depicting Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and 3 of their daughters. That's the really long name it has, which is just straight from our art history textbook. So really wonderful to see in person. Now looking back, before I knew any art history stuff, I probably just wander around art museums like a dumbass. But once you know the context and how to look at art, everything just becomes so vividly sort of full of stories. Typically, figures from Egyptian art are depicted in a very stiff way. We call it rigid modeling of the body. But what we have here is actually quite naturalistic. We can see this natural flow to their bodies and this cute family scene of Akhenaten and Nefertiti with their children. This is representational of this brief stylistic shift in Egyptian history where things are more relaxed, and under the rule of Nefertiti and Akhenaten, Egypt was actually temporarily monotheistic, believing in only the sun god, which is depicted here with the light rays in the middle. Just a few more other stuff. We also saw Titian, who's just so famous for his use of red, like the red cloth being depicted here. Of course, there's the one and only Raphael. I'm trying to pose as the angel here. We also saw Adam and Eve by Lucas Krennic and the Younger. I don't know why his name is this weird, but he's a really famous German Renaissance painter. We also saw this really cool Gothic church. Harrison and Megan here are trying to demonstrate the idea of flying buttressing, which is essentially a way of supporting the huge mass of Gothic church that really aspire to be tall for some reason. And finally, this memorial of the Holocaust in Berlin reminded me a lot of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in DC, where in both cases viewers take on a journey to contemplate the weight that wars carry. You are forced to walk through these towering, barren, solemn blocks of concrete, and this is what it feels like looking up at the center of it. Okay, third chapter is music, which is going to be kind of short because even though it was an orchestra trip, a lot of the times the fun stuff happened outside of music. I definitely can't say that I'm that good of a violinist. I'm okay. But the important thing is that we went through the struggle together and we enjoyed performing for people. With Megan, Sahyun, and Natalie, we played the Shostakovich Quartet number 8 in C minor. This piece was really hard for us, so we tried our best not to fall apart all the time. But the second movement is really menacing, so we kind of just sound crazy the whole way through. Nobody's gonna be mad at us if we play a wrong note, which we do all the time. I don't think there was a time where we played it without any mistakes, but we got better along the way. A lot of the times we just have a good vibe. For example, walking down the road in the middle of the night, we just start singing this piece called Carmen, which is something we were performing at the time.
One, two, three, four. Are you making me so rude?
But we weren't that. What's that? And also it was there.
On one of our final days of our trip, we had dinner on this river, Vltava. I think that's how it's pronounced. There's a piece of music written about this river by the great Czech composer Smetana. I really love this piece of music, so it was very surreal being on the river and listening to that song all at once.
Yo, Nick, smile, Nick, smile, Nick, smile.
The final chapter is Sam Shea, my dear stand partner. I don't know how I became friends with the 9th grader, but Sam is honestly a great person. Sam, I don't think I need to elaborate anymore. You know all the good things I can say about you. But everybody, please enjoy this compilation of clips of Sam being obsessed with chocolate and me making fun of him at times. Whoa. Do you have to say hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate. High frequency.
Hot chocolate.
Why does your hair look flat on the top?
Because it's wet. Are you still recording? Turn it on. Chocolate.
Can you sound more passionate? What do you mean?
Chocolate.
That's so passionate. Angry, please.
Come this way. Chocolate. We're heading back. Violet versus oboe, bro.
Bro, we look like hooligans.
We look like what?
We look like hooligans.